Hey there, true crime friends. You've worked hard so far today, and now it's time for lunch. It's also time for lunchtime true crime. Child, this is going to be a good one. But first, you know what you have to do. Hit the like button. Go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Today, we are talking about none other than Miss Kristen Lobato. This story. Okay, so look. Kristen's living, someplace in the U.S. with her mama and her boyfriend. With her mother and her mother's boyfriend, and she's living a good, happy life. Happy enough. She's a child, whatever. Then she's 5 years old, and the mom's boyfriend gets arrested and taken off to jail. And the first thing I thought was, what he do? What did he do to that child? Well, it's what you thought. Oh, trigger warning. If you have a history of like childhood abuse or whatever, child, I'm going to need you to take care of yourself and go and choose another true crime lunchtime. Not this one. For those of you who opted to remain, he was a Pedialyte. You knew what I was going to say, right? He was a Pedialyte. He was a kitty diddler. So whatever. So dude goes off to jail, as well he should. And Kristen's left there with her mama. Her mother was just like, oh, I can't take it, whatever. So, child services investigates, and they like, wait. You let this shady character in the house with your daughter? Ma'am. No. So the mama lost custody, and Kristen went to live with her father in Las Vegas. Now, she is living her best 5-year-old Vegas life. The daddy is good. The stepmom is good. Everything is great. And they're having a nice life. And she's like, oh, Las Vegas, bright lights, a big city. When I grow up, maybe I'll be like one of those dancers with the feathers or whatever. Her parents are like, okay, that's good, but we move into a small town. So they moved to this teensy little town, like 2 hours outside of Vegas. Ill-advised, in my opinion, because I'm not a small town kind of girl. So anyway, it's a small town. Everybody knows each other. A town of like 700 people. I think it was 700 people in my high school graduating class, like a whole town of 700 people. But okay, whatever, do what you got to do. So they're over here living in this town, and Kristen is like, I don't know if I blend. Turns out this is a very, very Mormon town, which since it's Las Vegas, I'm kind of not that surprised because, Salt Lake City, whatever. Hey, Mormon friends. So, she's living over here in this little Mormon town, but she's not Mormon. And she does not blend. And she was like, I don't like these people. And truthfully, they didn't like her either. She was teased. She was bullied. And Kristen was a little bit of a teenage garden tool. Like, I'm not saying that she was a fornicator. She said she was a fornicator. In fact, she got a license plate that said, like when she finally got her car at 16, her license plate said fornicator. I think I like that. Now, not for my teenage daughter. How her mom and daddy didn't pay for that and was like, oh, yes, girl, you can get it. The number 4 and then Nikator. First of all, how many letters can you put on a license plate in Las Vegas? That's another question for another day. Fornicator? Really? And you just driving around? Okay, whatever. So people were just like going off on her. She was always in fights. Finally, the parents were like, you know what? Being known as the town fornicator in the town of 700 people, that's not that good. So she got into a fight with somebody at school, gets kicked out of high school, gets her GED, fine. So she's at the alternative high school getting her GED, and she becomes a really close friends with a school teacher. Now, this school teacher was not like your typical button-down small town Mormon lady. This school teacher was known to be like a little bit of a wild child, and she and Kristen really connected, and they had a nice relationship. Soon as Kristen gets her GED, she's like, bye, I'm blowing this pop stand. So she goes back to Vegas, and she's living her best Vegas life. Now, according to Snapped, being a stripper in Vegas is a rite of passage. That is not a rite of passage that I was aware of, but and I don't know that that's what I want for my life, but okay, fine. Kristen goes and she's working as a stripper. At first, she's like, she's a hobosexual. She a hobo, and she having sex to get housing. So she's sleeping on different people's couches, sleeping with boyfriends, whatever. And finally, she gets her own place in a rent-by-the-week motel. Ew. Something tells me that the cleanliness level in the rent-by-the-week hotel would not be pleasing to me personally. But Kristen felt like, I'm living good now. Okay, great. So she's there for a few months, and then suddenly she's just like, she's working a stripper job. She's living in her rent-by-the-week motel. Ew. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and live with my parents. She shows up at her parents' house and she's like, I'm never going back there ever again. It's over and done for me. And the parents are like, good, welcome home. There's a Piggly Wiggly that you could go work out or Walmart or something like that. So she's staying at home. She hooks back up with her school teacher friend. And so she says to her school teacher friend, yeah, Vegas was okay, but then it got pretty rough, blah, blah, blah. I might have assaulted a man. So the teacher was like, I'm sorry, what now? And so she's like, yeah, some things went down. It was unpleasant. And I might have assaulted the man. The teacher was like, oh, that's too bad. I want to make this abundantly clear. That teacher was a snitch. I had not seen that coming. I thought the teacher, listen, what you say with the teacher supposed to stay? Isn't there like teacher, former student confidentiality? I don't know. But this teacher called up a probation officer and was like, yo, this girl told me that she was sexually assaulted. I don't know what you can say on YouTube, that she was assaulted and she might have done an eggplantectomy. She might have removed a particular portion of a man's body because he was assaulting her. But I don't know if she's telling the truth, because also turns out she uses meth. Oh, okay. So the probation officer was like, thanks for letting me know. Okay. Where did this happen? Las Vegas, you say? Okay, I'm going to check it out. So the probation officer calls the Vegas PD and was like, hey, Vegas PD, do you have any crimes where a man's eggplant was removed? And they were like, by George, we do. So they get all the information from the teacher and they go over and they arrest Kristen. Now, that teacher, dead wrong. Anyway, so they're like, Kristen girl, what happened? And she was like, okay, so I was in the parking lot of like the library or the bank or someplace that sounded wholesome, but clearly was not. And I was dealing with this dude because, I was trading favors. I was giving him my kitty cat and he was going to give me some of that methane. And so I was like, okay, this is a fair transaction. But turns out he wanted to like take his portion first and had no intention of giving me my purchase. It was not, it was not going to be a fair exchange. So he started attacking me. I told him no, and he pulled down his pants, threw me on the ground, and I had a knife with me, so I swung it and circumcised him, basically. But like an aggressive circumcision, where instead of taking just a little off the top, she took like the first 3 inches. So the cops are like, right. So we gonna give you these nice bracelets, and we gonna put you over here in this orange jumpsuit and lock you in a nice cage, and then we gonna see what we find out. So the police do their investigation, and yes, they have a man who is dead, who has had his eggplant removed, only he's in a different location 7 miles away. And there is sailors, like little seamen, they're sailors in his chocolate starfish. Child, YouTube got me up here just like on the fly trying to come up with alternate words. So they're like, okay, so if there are sailors in his chocolate starfish, then a man was involved in this intimate assault of this dead dude. Turns out the dead dude was a homeless dude, also a drug dealer. You want to know signs you're bad at drug dealing? If you're also homeless. Because from what I understand, drug dealing is pretty lucrative. You can't rent an apartment or a rent by the week hotel room? Really, dude? You bad at business. But also he was bad at life because he's out here assaulting people. So I guess that tells us all we need to know about him. So the trial comes up and they go through the whole thing. Okay, the assault, blah, 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 the sailors and the starfish. Okay, fine. Kristen gets convicted. And they were like, wait. Kristen confessed to slicing a man and he was still alive. And then 7 miles away, how did he get the 7 miles away? And the cops are like, she's on that drug. So, these narcotics enthusiasts, they don't remember everything exactly how it happened. She's probably the one. And so they send her to prison. So she gets locked up. But then for whatever reason, the case gets overturned. They said in Snap, but y'all wasn't paying attention. I had to refill my coffee cup because, it's morning. Even though you're seeing this at lunch, it's actually really in real life. It's morning right now. And a girl is just trying to wake up. So anyway, they were like, she on that narcotic. So it could have happened anywhere at any time, unclear. She still need to go to jail for it. And Kristen is like, this is not fair. This is not right. Yes, I gave him an advanced circumcision, but I did not unalive him. And so the new jury listens to the case and is like, right. Okay, you're still going to be convicted, but you're going to be convicted of involuntary manslaughter instead of full unaliving somebody. And she's like, this is not fair. And then she goes off to prison. So here's the thing. There's been a social media campaign to help get Kristen out of prison because all of the details that she confessed to did not exactly match the details of this case, that narcotic notwithstanding. And so the DA is like, we absolutely got the right person. But the Kristen fans on like social media or whatever are like, free Kristen Lobato, free Kristen Lobato. Honestly, I don't know what happened. But frankly, when I heard this story, I was like, this seems like a good true crime lunchtime true crime. You know, I never remember what order that's supposed to go in because, like, did she do it? Did she not do it? Did she just take the tip off? Oh, and they were like, oh, we have to, in her second trial, they were like, we want to get those sailors tested for DNA so we can see who this unknown male was who was obviously at the scene. This is where this story gets extra crazy, as though it were not crazy enough. Turns out, they tested the sailors. The sailors belonged to the decedent. How did his sailors get inserted back into his body after the post-mortem advanced circumcision? Child, I don't know. Does Kristen, the narcotics enthusiast, also know magic tricks? Like, how did that work? Also, it's not like they found his eggplant still inside his chocolate starfish. They found his eggplant like thrown in the garbage can, truthfully, where it belonged. Because if you're going to cut it off, you might as well throw it away. I'm just saying. I don't have any like personal experience in eggplant ectomies because I don't cut them off. I do other things with them, but cut them off. No. That's not my bag. So this case remains active. There are still people on social media who were like trying to get Kristen freed. I don't know how I feel about it, but it is a fascinating story. Listen, while she's over there in prison in Las Vegas, I hope she at least learns a trade, becomes a hairdresser, a welder, something like that, so she can do good things with her life. Good luck, Kristen, and rest in peace, terrible human who is out here assaulting people. Like, this story is a mess. All right, listen, go and finish up your salad, dab your lips, go, you got a little lettuce in your teeth. Go ahead, get right there. Good. You got it. All right, I'm gonna see y'all in the morning. And in the meantime, have a great day. Until then, bye.